Let's talk about the conversations nobody wants to have before trying. For a baby. The ones that'll save your relationship when you're knee-deep in diapers at 3 a.m. Because here's the cold, hard truth, 68% of couples fight more after having a baby. And it's not just about who forgot to refill the diaper genie. It's about the conversations they didn't have before that positive pregnancy test. So grab your partner, a notebook, and maybe a glass of wine, you'll need it. Because we're diving into the 5 make or break talks that'll baby-proof your relationship. And trust me, number 4? It's the one nobody sees coming. First up, money. Yeah, I know, not exactly pillow talk. But here's why it matters. A 2023 study found money fights are the #1 predictor of divorce after kids. Let's rip off the band-aid. The USDA says raising a kid costs over $300,000. That's $1,500 a month. And that's before you factor in the hidden costs. Like the fact that daycare in America costs more than some college tuitions. Are you splitting that cost 50-50? Or is one of you cutting back hours? And here's the kicker. What if fertility treatments come into play? 1 in 8 couples need IVF. And at $15,000 a pop. That's a conversation you don't want to have in the fertility clinic waiting room. So here's your homework, tonight. Sit down and each write your top 3 financial priorities. College fund? Family vacations? Emergency savings? Compare lists, and prepare for some uncomfortable truths. Because nothing kills romance faster than realizing your partner's dream of private school clashes with your dream of not eating ramen for 18 years. Now, let's talk about who's actually going to do the work when the baby comes. Because here's a fun fact. Moms end up doing 2.5 times more childcare than dads, even in couples who swore they'd be equal. And it's not just the physical labor, it's the mental load. The remembering doctor's appointments, the tracking diaper sizes, the knowing which weird rash warrants a 2 a.m. WebMD deep dive. So let's get specific. If you're breastfeeding, yeah, you're on the hook for nights, but if you're bottle feeding, alternate nights now before exhaustion turns you into a sleep-deprived zombie who cries over spilled, pumped milk. And download a shared app like Cozy to split the mental load. Because I forgot isn't an excuse when it's 3 a.m. and the baby's out of clean onesies. Next, parenting philosophies. This is where things get spicy. Maybe you're all about gentle parenting, but your partner thinks timeouts are for wimps. Or maybe you're firm on no screens before age 2, but grandma's already eyeing the iPad. A child development study found kids with parents who clash on discipline have twice the anxiety. So get on the same page now. And don't skip the big stuff, religion, values, vaccines. 35% of couples regret not discussing whether their kid will be baptized, circumcised, or homeschooled before the baby arrives. So have the awkward talk. Yes, even the one about whether your anti-vax sister-in-law gets to hold the baby. Speaking of family, let's talk boundaries. Because nothing tests a marriage like a well-meaning mother-in-law who thinks her 40-year-old son still needs her to remind him to wear socks. A 2023 study found in-law conflicts spike by 40% postpartum. So set rules now. No drop-ins after 8 p.m. No unsolicited advice. Practice your polite but firm "we've got this." And for the love of all things holy, get on the same page about visits. Because nobody wants to be arguing about whether Aunt Linda can kiss the baby while you're still bleeding postpartum. Finally, and this is the one everyone ignores, your relationship. Because here's a brutal stat, 67% of couples have sex less than once a month by the baby's first birthday. Once a month. So let's get proactive. Schedule date nights now. Before date night means passing out on the couch during Bluey. Practice the no baby talk rule, 30 minutes. A day where you talk about you, not the baby. And yes, schedule sex if you have to. Because spontaneity is cute until you haven't slept in 72 hours. So there you have it. The 5 conversations that'll save your sanity when you're covered in spit up and wondering why nobody warned you. And if you take one thing from this video, let it be this: the couples who thrive after kids aren't the ones who never fight. They're the ones who fought before the baby came. So have the awkward talks now. Your future self, knee-deep in diapers, covered in pureed carrots, will thank you. Now, drop a blue heart in the comments if you've had any of these fights, and download my free Baby-Proof Your Relationship checklist in the description. Because love shouldn't end where parenting begins.